You are exhausted, not because you are weak, not because your faith is small, but because you have been carrying something that Jesus already offered to carry for you. And he has been standing right beside you this entire time saying the same thing. Come to me, I will give you rest. But nobody explained what that actually means in your real daily life. Until today. There is a verse in the Bible that almost every Christian has memorized. And almost nobody is actually living. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 through 30. Come to me all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Weary, burdened, rest, easy, light. Now let me ask you something honest. Does that describe your experience of following Jesus right now? If the answer is no, if following God feels heavy and exhausting and like a performance you can never quite get right, then somewhere between the verse and your life something got lost. And what got lost is not your faith. It is your understanding of what Jesus was actually inviting you into. Because most Christians read that verse and think it is a promise for heaven. A rest that comes after this life is over. An ease that arrives when all the struggling is finally done. But Jesus said, come to me now. I will give you rest now. My yoke is easy now. My burden is light now. Not someday. Now. So what does that actually look like in a real life with real problems and real pressure and real pain? That is exactly what we are going to find out today. The first thing Jesus was saying, you were never supposed to carry this alone. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28. Come to me all you who are weary and burdened. The word burdened in the original Greek means to be loaded down, like a pack animal carrying more weight than it was designed to hold. Moving forward but barely. Every step an effort. Every day a survival rather than a life. And Jesus looked at the people in front of him. People who were loaded down with religious rules, with shame, with the weight of trying to be good enough, with the crushing pressure of a religious system that gave them obligations without giving them power, and he said, come. Not try harder. Not pray more. Not get it together. Come. Here is what most Christians do not realize. The struggling you are experiencing right now is not a sign of weak faith. It is a sign that you are carrying something God never asked you to carry in the first place. The anxiety about the future, God never asked you to carry that. He asked you to trust him with it. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Cast. Throw it. Release it completely. Not manage it carefully. Cast it. The guilt from the past. God never asked you to keep carrying that. He paid the highest price in existence to take it. And yet most Christians pick it back up every morning like it is their responsibility to keep feeling it. The pressure to perform, to be good enough, spiritual enough, consistent enough to deserve God's presence. God never designed that pressure. Comes from religion, not from relationship. Jesus said, come, put it down. I will give you rest. The first step out of the struggle is the most simple and the most radical thing you can do. Stop carrying what was never yours to carry. The second thing Jesus was saying, the yoke he offers is completely different from the one you are wearing. Matthew chapter 11 verse 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. A yoke in the ancient world was a wooden frame that connected two animals so they could work together. But there was a specific practice in first century farming that most people do not know about. When a young ox was being trained, it was yoked to an older experienced ox. Not to work alone, to work alongside. The older animal set the pace. The older animal absorbed the majority of the weight. The younger animal was learning, not performing. And the yoke was designed to fit the animal that wore it. A well-made yoke did not cut in, did not bruise, did not create wounds. It was crafted specifically for the animal it was made for. Jesus said, take my yoke. Not the yoke of religious performance. Not the yoke of trying to be good enough. Not the yoke of carrying everyone else's expectations of what a good Christian looks like. My yoke, custom made, fitted specifically to you, worn alongside me, not instead of me. The yoke most Christians are wearing was not made by Jesus. It was made by comparison, by shame, by a version of Christianity that turned a relationship into a rulebook. And Jesus is not asking you to try harder in that yoke. He is asking you to take it off and put on the one he actually made, the one that fits, the one that does not wound, the one where he is pulling the majority of the weight, and you are walking beside him, learning, not performing. The third thing Jesus was saying, learning from him is the secret most Christians skip. Matthew chapter 11 verse 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. Learn from me, not learn about me. Learn from me. There is a profound difference between studying Jesus from a distance and actually walking with him closely enough to learn how he thinks, how he responds, how he handles pressure, how he treats people, how he prays, how he rests. Most American Christians know a lot about Jesus. They can quote his words. They can tell you the stories. They can pass a theology test. But learning from someone requires proximity. It requires time. It requires the kind of regular, unhurried connection where his way of being in the world starts to become your way of being in the world. And the specific thing Jesus said to learn from him in this passage is his gentleness and humility. Not his power, not his miracles, his gentleness and humility. Because here is what gentleness and humility produce in a life that carries them. They produce the ability to stop striving, to stop proving, to stop performing, to rest in who you are before God rather than exhausting yourself trying to become someone God will finally be pleased with. Jesus was gentle with himself. He did not carry the weight of the whole world's opinion of him. He was not moved by criticism. He was not derailed by rejection. He was not performing for an audience. He was at rest, in the middle of ministry, in the middle of opposition, in the middle of everything. And he said, learn this from me, because this is available to you, right now, in the middle of your life exactly as it is. The fourth thing Jesus was saying, the rest he promises is for your soul, not just your body. Matthew chapter 11 verse 29. You will find rest for your souls. Rest for your souls. Not rest for your schedule. Not rest for your calendar. Rest for your souls. The deepest part of you. The part that is tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. The part that wakes up at 3 a.m. with thoughts that will not stop. The part that carries a weight that has nothing to do with how much you slept last night. Soul rest. The kind that only comes from one source. Psalm chapter 62 verse 1. Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Truly my soul finds rest in God. Not in having everything figured out. Not in the breakthrough finally arriving. Not in the circumstances finally changing. In God. In his presence. In the simple act of bringing the tired soul to the only one who can actually give it what it needs. And here is the practical reality of what that looks like. It looks like stopping. Genuinely stopping. Not just reducing activity but actually becoming still before God. Psalm chapter 46 verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. In a culture that celebrates busyness as virtue, being still feels like failure. Like you are not doing enough. Like the world is moving forward and you are falling behind. But Jesus said the rest your soul needs, the rest that transforms everything, is found not in doing more. In coming to him. In being still enough to actually receive what he is offering. For things Jesus was actually saying in Matthew 11 that most people have never fully understood. You were never supposed to carry this alone. And the weariness you feel is the evidence of weight God never asked you to hold. The yoke you are wearing was not made by Jesus. His yoke is custom made and worn alongside him where he takes the majority of the weight. Learning from him is the secret most Christians skip. And what he most wants you to learn is his gentleness and humility toward yourself. And the rest he promises is for your soul, the deepest, most exhausted part of you that nothing else can reach. The breakthrough you have been praying for is not found in trying harder. It is found in what Jesus described in 3 simple words. Come to me, not perform for me, not earn from me, not figure it out and then come to me. Come, right now, exactly as you are, as tired as you are, as confused as you are, as far from having it together as you feel. Come, because the rest he promised, he meant it, every single word. And it is available right now. If this video gave you permission to finally put down something you have been carrying that Jesus never asked you to hold, share it with someone who is exhausted and does not know why. Comment below and tell me, what is the one thing you have been carrying that God never asked you to carry? Subscribe and turn on notifications because there is so much more coming that goes this deep into what Jesus actually said. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.